This document from a public health watch list highlights several high-attention pathogens circulating right now. We're seeing waves of the KP.3 variant in Japan, localized clusters of severe Hantavirus, and widespread monitoring of the H5N1 avian flu. With so many distinct outbreaks making headlines simultaneously, it is entirely natural to wonder if these biological threats are being engineered in secret labs. Scientists do closely monitor what is called dual-use research, experiments actively designed to make existing pathogens more virulent or transmissible. That carries genuine risks. However, the scientific evidence for the major viruses currently threatening public health points overwhelmingly to natural evolution rather than engineered design. This research summary shows why. Most new human infectious diseases are zoonotic, meaning they jump from animals into people. In fact, over 70% of emerging infections originate in wildlife, largely driven by how we clear land and expand human settlements. Nature has not suddenly decided to launch an attack. Our own ecological footprint has simply turned up the dial on the engine driving viral emergence. When we clear forests and wild ecosystems, we force bats, rodents, livestock, and humans into unprecedented close proximity. This drastically increases the chances for an animal virus to cross over into a human host. For instance, when human activities disrupt rodent habitats, we see spikes in rare, highly lethal diseases like Hantavirus, which infects people who inhale aerosolized droppings. At the same time, shifting weather patterns and extreme heat alter where insects and rodents can survive, expanding the active geographic range of mosquito-borne diseases. Industrial agriculture plays a role too. Packing millions of animals together creates massive biological reservoirs where viruses can circulate, as we've seen with the H5N1 bird flu spilling over into dairy cattle. Once a pathogen makes that jump into humans, densely packed cities and crowded transit systems act as accelerators, allowing respiratory and gastrointestinal bugs to sweep through populations rapidly. And because of modern air travel, a localized spillover event rarely stays local. A new virus can travel from an isolated village to the opposite side of the globe in under 24 hours. Our modern global infrastructure efficiently amplifies microscopic biological jumps into worldwide health crises. When an outbreak does happen, its actual danger comes down to three factors: how fast it spreads, how severe the symptoms are, and how much existing immunity we have. This table breaks down the differences in mortality. COVID-19 spreads effortlessly, but has a relatively low per-infection fatality rate today. Hantavirus is extremely lethal, killing roughly a third of diagnosed patients, but it rarely spreads from person to person. Norovirus infects hundreds of millions yearly, but is generally only deadly to the most vulnerable. The scenario public health experts watch for is a pathogen that combines the worst traits of these examples: a virus with the high mortality rate of H5N1, but the effortless airborne transmissibility of a COVID variant. Future spillovers are a mathematical certainty based on our current ecological trajectory. What determines the final death toll is how effectively we prepare and respond. The good news is that our defensive tools are advancing just as quickly. Widespread genomic sequencing now allows scientists to spot tiny viral clusters and map new variants almost in real time. We also have incredibly flexible platforms like mRNA, which let scientists update vaccines in a matter of months to target emerging strains, like the new JN1 COVID lineages. Global organizations are also adopting a One Health approach. This strategy integrates environmental, animal, and human health surveillance into a single, unified early warning system. The science and technology are ready. The open question is whether governments and societies will actually maintain the funding and political will needed to keep these systems running before hospitals are overwhelmed. On an individual level, you cannot reduce your risk to absolute zero, but you can sharply lower it by stacking multiple layers of protection. Simple, targeted actions work. Wear well-fitting masks in crowded spaces during respiratory surges, improve indoor ventilation, and remember that old-fashioned soap and water is still necessary to kill tough pathogens like Norovirus, which alcohol sanitizers leave behind. It is easy to feel paralyzed by every new health alert. The most rational response is informed vigilance, tracking advisories from your local health ministry and staying up to date on vaccines without giving in to panic. In a world where human communities, wildlife habitats, and international borders overlap more tightly every day, Taking clear-eyed, practical precautions is simply how we must learn to navigate the complex biology of the 21st century.